Fuck off, I'm ill.
But it's been a while since your last video. I think you're okay now.
What?
I think you're okay now.
What?
I think you're okay now. Poo face!
What? Oh, I'll show you okay in a minute, you cheeky little fucker. Ah, I see how it is. What do you want then?
It's Valentine's Day. You're perfectly fine now. And I want you to review this.
But what's it got to do with Valentine's daisies?
I don't know.
I'm back, everybody! Yeah! And I'm fully recovered. And alive. Well, so I presume he's a kissing and Mrs. Banks. And I've returned to deliver my verdict on whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. So, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, yeah! Who doesn't know Tomb Raider? This was one of the standalone and greatest early releases for the PlayStation, and yet strangely enough, the MS-DOS and PlayStation versions of this game were released nearly a month after Europe released it on the Sega Saturn. At the time, this game was pretty much forever revolutionary. It practically owned the third-person action-adventure video game genre, and then stapled it onto Lara's voluptuous titties. Not to mention the legacy, holy shit. This game practically bled inspiration in its wake, tailing as far as games even today, such as Uncharted. Speaking of Lara's voluptuous titties, even she was considered fresh in video gaming, becoming a throwback to the classic hegemonic male trait, and much like Samus, proving once and for all that gaming heroines could be ultra badasses as well. Badasses and nice asses.
Know what I mean?
Oh, hello! Please, not in front of the children. Not to mention that this little beauty helped pull Eidos out of a $2.6 million loss the previous year by making a whopping $14.5 million profit. Oh, and it sold 8 million copies and shit. And with more sequels than fucking Jason pops over to the pharmacist because he was dangerously low on vitamin C, it's more than a pleasure to revisit the legend that started it all. Did you see what I did there?
So right now, I've hyped the shit out of this game. But is it worth it all exactly? Well, to quote Churchill in one of his most infamous speeches, I want to play some fucking Tomb Raider.
So the immediate thing we're greeted with is a cutscene. And a nice one at that. This game is taking a cinematic approach. Me likey. It also leaves a decent amount of mystery for our story. Yes, the FMV creeps me out a little bit, and the voice acting isn't great. I mean, Lara Croft sounds like Ginger from Chicken Run.
I'm sorry. I only play for sport.
And Larson sounds like a fucking great cow.
No.
Speaking of which, the story is that Lara Croft, a pro-adventurer, has been hired by this bitch over here to go and grab an ancient artifact called the Scion, which is rumoured to have stored mystical powers in itself. You know, something about an age-old civilization and monsters that explode when you shoot them. And with that, we're greeted with our menu, and a very peaceful, yet eerie main theme, maybe perhaps even one of my favourites. But we aren't here to play the menu, because that'd be fucking stupid. So we'll just visit Lara's house, which, I might add, is one of my most favourite interactive tutorials in video gaming, for exploring your main character's house at the time seemed like a pretty fresh thing, and it lets you get to know Lara a little bit more. Yes, it is all very clever. And you also discover Lara's endless library of screams and grunts. It's also great because these controls are a little bit stiff, so we'll have ample time to get the hang. Oh, Miss Croft, you know how to live like a big-bosomed queen. And I also really love the effects on this water. It even reacts to light sources in the game once you get into it.
Right. Now I'd better take off these wet clothes.
I just remembered what Valentine's Day is all about.
And there are more cinematics here that further establish Lara as the ultimate female badass. Maybe not quite Ripley, but very close. So like any normal person, I now enter the cave that slaughtered my good friend. Johnny? Johnny? Yeah, Johnny. And now we can play the game. Now from what I remember, there are some shooting arrows here-ish, and there's no way to avoid them. Ah well, I might as well get it over with. Oh, Like that. Now, one of the first things you may notice is that even though there are some set paths and clues to help you on your journey, this game is actually very open-ended and explorable. For some vital pickups can only be found from searching away from any linear tracks, and there are even some secrets to discover, further rewarding you for exploring. But be careful though, because who knows what may spring on you unsuspectingly in these treacherous caves. So we must be silent, stealthy, and attentive. Oh. Ah well, you can never be too careful, that's what I always say. Also, you're gonna notice a lack of music in this game, which is absolutely awesome. Does this game have a soundtrack? Yes it does, but only when it needs it. The lack of a constant underlining score makes the game more involving with the player, and combine that with the ever-present foreboding darkness in the distance, and you get one hell of a sweet atmosphere, and sometimes even pretty damn creepy. It really does feel like the raw essence of adventure, but you can make your own soundtrack for it, I suppose. I mean, Lara's jogging has a lovely rhythm to it.
Boom, 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 boom. Tiny balls on end of string, tiny balls on end of string. Tiny balls, tiny balls. Boom, boom, boom.
And these areas feature so many caverns and shadows to get lost in. It's very true to its sources in terms of adventuring and discovering, and the interactivity in these environments from ledges, slopes, and anything else pretty much solid and physical makes them that much more alive. So, what's over here? I don't know what's down there, but I better not screw this jump up. Oh shit, I lost it. Ah! A bear! It's a bear! It's fucking Kuma! And this is what I'd like to call the bad news, good news, bad news effect. You see, I fell from this ledge and had to fight a bear, therefore losing much of my health. Bad news. However, searching around, I've now discovered a medipack and a secret passageway. Good news. But now it turns out that I've been taken a while back. Bad news. See, you're still punished for your mistakes in this, but at least there's a little bit of forgiveness here and there. Although I must question how and why all this modernised medicinal equipment found its way into an untouched, ancient ruin. Anyway, let's get this jump right this time. Oh yes, onwards we will go, onwards we will go, and ride me sideways, onwards we will go. And then we come to... oh god, that music.
My hat goes off to you, Mr. Composers. Oh, that hair.
That is one scary ass fight theme. I mentioned earlier that the main theme is one of my favourites of all time. Well, balls to that one, I'd say this entire soundtrack is one of my favourites. Nothing can strike as much tension and fear into my soul as much as this music. Major kudos. But why is this music started up anyway? I can't see anything. Okay, I win. Let's calm down now. Saying that though, all these music cues make certain scenes and sections that much more meaningful. The lack of music helps build the atmosphere, and the sound design is excellent, ranging from echoing caves to distant waterfalls, as well as the roars and growls from your faraway decimals. This way, when the music is cued, you know that shit is going down. You find a secret area, the music lets you know. The game wants you scared, the music does it. The game wants you mystified or spellbound, the music, coupled with the visuals, does it perfectly. Talking about visuals, you may find one or two slight texture glitches whilst moving around, but they aren't really that noticeable. And you can't really blame the game for that really, because the amount of things in it, as well as the detail in some areas, are pretty impressive for the time. And that is most definitely a dead wolf. It kind of looks like when your aunt falls flat on her back off of the table at Christmas dinner. What's also great about this game are the weapons. Like Devil May Cry, you get unlimited ammo for your handguns, but it makes no impact on the difficulty. I mean, the game can still be quite a challenge. Hence why you can get yourself a fucking arsenal to fight away all the smelly bad guys. And what's even better than that is a lovely little cheat to get you everything.
Everything?
Everything. All thanks to my trusty cheat book, worth £4.99. Oh, bless. That's kind of funny. And now we are coming up to another jump. Now let's flash back to earlier so I can remember my intense training.
I won't actually jump until the last minute.
Okay then, whatever you say, Lara. Let's push jump a slight bit in advance. Oh no, wait, what? No, I missed the jump! You contradicted yourself, you bitch! Oh, and I seem to have seriously hurt my face on the descent. May I file for compensation against the architects of this piece of shit cave? Anyway, on we go and... oh shit! That fucking music! Hey, so Tomb Raider, why are you trying to make me panic, huh? Oh. One wolf. You know, that's a little bit of a fucking problem when the scary music is actually scarier than the thing it's trying to make scary. And with some switch flipping and door opening, I am now home free. And I only got one secret. See, I tried my hardest and I searched everywhere I could, yet I wasn't good enough. Touché, game. That's gonna bug me forever. To be honest, there's not much else to say for the caves, so let's skip to my most primeval and horrid fear in all video gaming ever. The first boss level. You exit the caves to find a skeleton rotting in the opening. This is not a normal occurrence so far from what you've seen. Then you head down here and, oh, and notice, I never usually cheat in any game ever. But I've got my maxed out shotgun on standby. Shut up, I'm scared and I need it. And then you head down here and you see raptors. Yeah, raptors. Loud, fast, and scary raptors. But that's nothing. I take care of those fuckers and then lo and behold, around the corner... yeah, a T-Rex. I don't need to say anything about this. It's terrifying. Look at it. And the amount of bullets it takes is just... Look at it! What's great is that most of these bosses are actually like this. And if they aren't, they're pretty fun regardless. Everything is so sweet. Even the magnitude of deaths at Lara's disposal, such as drowning, breaking all her bones, burning to death in lava, and probably the coolest death ever, turning into gold by the touch of the statue of King Midas. Not to mention the puzzles in the progression of this. What would an adventure game be without puzzles? And the enemies advance as you go along as well, getting faster, tougher, and ranging from slightly more aggressive decimals to fucking these things. And how the hell does Lara retain her nice posture with these meat baskets? I don't know, but the game really does make you care for Lara. You want to look after her, you want her to win, and through all the twists and tribulations in the story, she's never a hateable character in any sense. You actually feel scared for her in some parts, which most games nowadays can't seem to replicate. And this game has a surprising length to boot. It's just great. Well, you know, maybe that shouldn't be there. And I don't usually talk about final bosses in my show, but in this case, I feel as though I have to. Although I'm not going to say anything about it, I'll just show you. Fucking Christ. That is a final boss. I do not want to meet the man that drew this monstrosity up. I think he'll bite my pinky off.
But oh no. This is Valentine's Day, is it not? And I have but one egg for a love. This isn't life. You know, I need a Valentine to pop through that door right now. A girl who has experience in gaming. That's all I need. The perfect Valentine. Sam!
What?
We're playing this!
Oh my god, Tomb Raider!
Yeah, Tomb Raider. Did you remember Tomb Raider?
I remember Tomb Raider.
That's good, I also remember Tomb Raider. So is there anything you can concur with my review so far? How did Tomb Raider treat you as a casual gamer?
Let me have a go, I think it'll come back to me.
Okay then, there you go.
I played Tomb Raider on PC when I was about 10 years old, but I was always really horrendous at the actual game, so I'd play the practice level where you do all the tasks around her house and the grounds outside. And there was this old man who I'm assuming was her butler who would follow you around all the time, but he was really creepy, so for some reason I would always lead him to the top of the house and lock him in the freezer.
I was a weird child.
What I remember from the actual game was basically just getting killed by everything. Like, everything being really, really quiet, and then you'd wander through some jungle or something, and then suddenly some dramatic music would play, and out of nowhere you'd be attacked by shitloads of tigers. And I'd inevitably die because I was crap at it. I also remember this slope you had to slide down to get to whatever was below it, and suddenly these spikes would come out of the ground, and of course, I would die again.
Which was just great.
The most annoying thing about the actual game was where you had to open doors by pressing this switch on the wall, but you could never get her in line with the switch, so it would take forever to open it. So you'd either get attacked by whatever was chasing you, or you'd run out of time. And there was always this really annoying thing where she'd move forwards, but if you turned sideways to see what's around you, you couldn't see what was around her, so it was like you were following her with a camera, which was really difficult if things were about to attack you because you couldn't actually see what she was seeing.
Well, thank you very much, Sam. But everything you just said was about Tomb Raider 2 and 3.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, everything you talked about was Tomb Raider, but you know, it wasn't the Tomb Raider that I was talking about. That's quite extraordinary.
Oh. Sorry.
I mean, I sit here and I pay for my fucking Valentine on Valentine's Day to do a review with me, and I would expect that I got what I paid for and made my show a little bit more professional. But nope! I've made a complete ass of myself. And you know what? You've disrespected me, you've disrespected your family, you've disrespected your friends, and most of all, You've disrespected yourself.
Man, chill the fuck out. Jesus. So, does this mean you're gonna shoot me now?
Yes. Fuck Valentine's Day and fuck everything, okay? This game is getting the salvage, if you couldn't guess. And if it's your birthday today or watching this video, then happy frickin' birthday to you. And remember to stay beautiful, please. Just like our lovely dead Sam.
Does this mean I get to go now?
Shh! The dead do not speak.
Subscribe.
Since the days of old lang syne.